What is today's date? 5/8?
You're an idiot.
Hey, welcome back to Splash Panel.
It is 5/8.
Issue 3. Well, I'm Mike, and here is Lucas.
I'm here.
We have a...
Oh, my head's cut off. I'm going to fix that.
We have a banner.
Just gonna...
Not a Bruce banner. It's not even a real banner. Now it's on the table. Everything's ruined, Lucas.
Everything's ruined.
Alright, so... Welcome back to Splash Panel. We had a little hiatus, as you can see, for who's watching. We're not in our normal location. I guess this
I'm in my parents' basement now.
I also live in my parents' basement. So this is really adding to our essence here on Splash Panels. We talk about comic books.
Yep. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to ask my mother for dinner.
I need to go almost talk to a woman.
Almost. Say 3 words and run away at max speed.
So we'll talk about comics first, then we'll talk Endgame. There will be spoilers. If you haven't seen it at this point, I don't know what the hell you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me pull up what I got here. War of the Realms. I know I talked about it last time you and I recorded.
Yep.
So, you know, the Dark Elf invading all 10 realms. The first issue is like him making his play and like attacking the realms. He attacks Odin. You presume him to be dead. Laufey eats Loki, and like all the Avengers and several other random heroes like Wolverine, Daredevil, Punisher, all are involved in this battle. Issue 2, not a whole lot happened. Odin's not dead. He comes and attacks the forces, and they retreat from New York City to the North Pole, where the Avengers headquarters is. And basically, issue 3 is
what an odd place to keep a.
They're in like a
base.
hollowed out dead celestial.
All right.
Yeah.
On Earth.
Yes.
All right.
Apparently, it's responsible for human existence.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. If you read the
Midgard's got some stuff going on.
If you read the most recent volume of Avengers, you'll get caught up on that.
Give me water.
Yeah. So the third issue, they start splitting off into their teams, and now like all the limited series that are tied to this limited series starts to come into play. So like Captain America, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Wolverine are all going to Jotunheim, the Frost Giants land.
All right.
Where Thor
Another place Wolverine is.
Yeah. Where Thor was like vanquished at the beginning of this. Malekith brought him there, and Thor is just destroying like mountains of frost giants. Like they think they're walking through mountains looking for Thor, and they realize it's frost giants, and he's just like, "Bring me more frost giants!"
Oh, jeez. As
he's like beat to hell. The War Avengers, which is like Captain Marvel, Venom. I don't remember who else.
Wolverine.
No, who else was part of it? I don't know. Captain Marvel and Venom were the most notable ones. They're fighting...
Winged Venom?
No, he doesn't have wings right now.
Okay.
They're fighting Malekith in Europe. There's like this... I don't know what their team name is, but it's like She-Hulk, Punisher, Ghost Rider, one of the Valkyrie, and I want to say there was another person. They're going to destroy the Dark Bifrost, but Daredevil, who gets Heimdall's powers and can actually see now, is like in charge of the Bifrost, and like Dark Elves.
Does he have the big sword?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Dark Elves come and attack it, and like the people that are there defending are fighting him off, but like Daredevil's like too overwhelmed by what he's seeing because Heimdall can see all.
Right. So
they end up destroying the normal Bifrost. So then this team decides to keep the Dark Bifrost active because
so they can still move.
So they can, or else they'd be stranded there. And that's really issue 3 in a summed up. Like it ends with them finding Thor, who looks like he's beat to hell.
Sounds like Daredevil really fucked up on that one.
Yeah, well, it's not just him. There was a couple other tie-ins too. There's an X-Men tie-in.
Of course.
They go to New York City after the big battle, and like they're fighting a bunch of Dark Elves and Frost Giants. Wolverine's not there though.
Oh.
They did keep some continuity there and had him out doing the other thing.
X-23 is there instead.
The Avengers tie-in is with the Supreme Squadron of America.
Oh, good lord.
It's their
the Justice League.
Yeah, their Justice League knockoff, which reveals some very shady stuff about Coulson, the character in the comics. Like he's brainwashed these people to be like the stereotypical patriot.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
like when they do like Wonder Woman's knockoff, I don't remember what her actual character's name was, but she's like, even though I'm from some exotic place, I don't know if they actually made her Amazonian or what in this, but she's like, I love America and the American way, and the only one who's like aware of what's happening is the Batman knockoff, but
of course
Coulson's like, we know he knows, and we want him to think that he's in control.
Right.
They're off fighting frost giants, I think, is who had North America. They chase them to Canada, and they're like, should we go after them? And they're like, I don't know, we defended America. I don't know if they're really our problem.
And I mean, they are technically home. Canada's pretty cold.
So that was the Avengers tie-in. Oh, I just remembered. Blade was the other one that was with Punisher and Ghost Rider.
Right.
They said Daywalker. I just remember now.
Yep.
So that's War of the Realms. I don't know. I'm less in like with this story as it goes on, just because it's like so much. It's almost like how Secret Invasion and Civil War was, where it's like all the titles. I don't want that from a limited series. I prefer the old-fashioned Secret War, Infinity Gauntlet, where you just buy the limited series and you read that. But I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to see like Thor kicking ass,
getting his ass kicked a little bit,
in shape.
In shape.
There's some cool things about
not
the story.
playing Fortnite.
And then I guess sticking with X-Men really quick, looks like there's going to be a split in the X team.
Oh, of course.
Can you guess who's fighting who?
Wolverine and Cyclops.
Yeah, oh gosh, it's like you've been reading your whole life. Yeah, I don't know. They got into it at the funeral of one of the X-Men, which is confusing because she was alive in the War of the Realms arc, so I don't know which takes place first. If she like is actually not dead, I don't know. And then like they're like, Cyclops made the hit list earlier on in the beginning of this arc of like everyone they're gonna take out, and this guy's ask him why didn't he put Emma Frost on that,
right?
And Cyclops is like, who the hell's Emma Frost? And that's the teaser going into the next issue. So maybe he lost memories when he was resurrected.
The Diamond Lady.
Carnage, you were talking about that earlier with me.
I was.
Did you read the free comic book?
No, I read like a synopsis on it from like comicbook.com.
Oh, okay. Free Comic Book Day was Saturday. Maybe your local comic book stores still have the comics. There was a Spider-Man one, which is setting up Absolute Carnage. Basically, Carnage is trying to like absorb
all the symbiotes.
Anyone who's ever had a symbiote, to get like the little remnants left behind, so he can like create Null's symbiote and give it back to him. And that's the big event for this summer. Or at least late summer for Spider-Man, Absolute Carnage. That was in Free Comic Book Day. He took Venom's clone's symbiote from him.
Right.
And that was... And then Peter Parker and Miles Morales compared pizzas.
Oh.
That was Free Comic Book Day
for
Spider-Man.
Hey, what else are you going to do?
Even Shocker got in on it. He's like, the best pizzas in the Bronx.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was pretty lame. I didn't read the Avengers Free Comic Book issue yet. Or I got Spawn. I didn't read that either. I'll let you know. Batman. So you remember the Catwoman dreams I was telling you about?
Yes.
So I guess he did not strap himself into this machine. Please forgive me, because that's basically what he did in Detective Comics leading up to the 1000th issue, is he did something like this. So I thought it was similar. Riddler had him hooked up to something to make him relive these nightmares. And after like the dream ends, he like beats the crap out of Riddler. He's like fighting his way out of Arkham. I guess Bane and Thomas Wayne have teamed up, and this is Thomas Wayne from the Flashpoint universe.
Oh, where he's got guns.
Yes, he's Batman from that universe. Apparently, I gotta go back and try and read some of the Rebirth stuff, because that's where some of this started. In like the 20s of the current Batman run. But they were working together, and Batman's like, after Bane, like he's like, he gets out of Arkham, he beats the last person up in Arkham. He fights like Scarecrow, Sam, and Grundy.
Why would they keep a zombie in Arkham Asylum?
I don't know. He beats up Mr. Freeze. He's just destroying anyone that you would basically expect to see.
Kicking them all back in their cells.
Yeah. And he goes up to Two-Face at the end. He's like, give this message to Bane. He's like, I'll be back tomorrow. Apparently, being asleep really wore out Batman. He's got to go rest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was still kind of like actively engaged while asleep.
It probably took a mental toll more than anything.
Yeah.
That's the Batman series, and then Detective Comics with that Arkham Knight. He beats Batman. There's a bunch of like cops and bystanders, and the Arkham Knight like gives Batman a chance to like choose, and Batman's like, "We'll meet again," and like he goes off in the Batmobile. Like Commissioner Gordon straps him in there, and he's recovering, getting all kinds of stitches and stuff patched up by Alfred. Damian decides to go look for the remnants of the sunlight bomb that these knights set off. They made Gotham daylight and night. They basically made a mini sun above it.
Right.
And he's looking for the bombs, and he gets captured by this Arkham Knight who's working with the Mad Hatter. Oh, God, who else was there? I want to say Mr. Freeze again, maybe? There was a couple, like...
Wolverine.
There was a couple of Batman villains that were, at least appears to be working with him. Arkham Knight wants Robin to join him, basically. And that's where that leaves off. But the thing I want to talk about most from DC is Flash Year One.
Oh, okay.
So are you familiar with the Batman Year One story?
Not particularly, no.
Have you seen Batman Begins?
Yes.
Then you're familiar with it.
Okay.
So basically in the 80s, they made they redid his origin story, kind of retold it, and it was called Batman Year One. I think they did it for Superman, too. Kind of modernized their origin a little.
Right.
Get new readers in. And I really liked Batman Year One. I watched the short movie, animated movie, recently about it. And I liked Batman Begins and Dark Knight stuff. So they're doing that with Flash. It just came out today. I read it online. Kind of just retelling his story. How he gets struck by lightning with the chemicals and stuff.
Right.
His mother's murder and stuff.
Yeah.
And the issue ends with him testing his powers. And he runs so fast he time travels.
Of course.
To where turtles are like ruling the world or something.
All right.
And there's like a future Flash who's like, "Didn't we tell you to stop messing with time travel?"
Right.
So I'm going to probably start at least getting this arc in physical copy because it's something that I think could maybe be collector worthy.
Flash is a cool hero.
If anything, it's a good way to get people introduced because I know like the very bare minimum about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's Barry Allen, who's this is about. I know there's Wally West, but I don't really know much besides that.
Yeah. Jay Garrick. I think that's his name, from the Silver Age.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
He's the one that wears that weird hat, the like silver kind of like Kung Lao hat.
I've never no. Okay, see, that shows you how much I know about Flash.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of them.
If you might want to read it online.
Yeah.
It seems like a good point to jump in. I don't really know what they have planned after this Year One story arc. Clearly, it's going to go on because it didn't end with him just being like, and that's where I am. That's how I got here today.
Right.
So maybe pick it up, read it. If not, it could be collector worthy.
Yeah.
So what you been reading?
So I caught up on Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, and Justice League Dark. What one do you want to start with?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the things. So let's start with Dark.
Okay, so Justice League Dark. They're the what is it? The Fates, the people of order, whatever. I forget their name now.
Okay.
All the different like people that do magic stuff are right now kind of in Mira.
Oh yeah, okay.
Trying to not die from the other kind. Meanwhile, Zatanna and Wonder Woman are speaking to, I believe her name is Circe, the like magic Amazon. She's like evil and all that.
Name sounds familiar, but there was also a Bills player with that last name, so I don't know.
True. And Zatanna is finding out that her father had set all these things in motion to, like, when the other kind actually come back, when the source wall breaks, when the original creators of the universe come back and everything starts getting reset, he has a failsafe. And his failsafe are with the, like, Masters of Chaos. And they're trying to reach them to basically help them fight against Fate and his, like, Order people. And meanwhile, the Order guys are just tearing apart Mira, like down to the last scrap of magic, because it is a realm completely made of magic. and their idea is to go through all of these subsequent realms of magic and destroy them, wipe them off the face of the earth. Meanwhile, they're going to have the rest of the group go and destroy some sort of like godstone, basically, which is what originated magic in the first place. So magic will cease to exist forever, and that will basically starve out the other kind, and then with the last remnants of magic, they will seal the portals between the dark multiverse and the normal multiverse that we all know forever. So they're going to destroy magic and then block the doors forever.
Okay.
And during this time, Zatanna finds out about her dad, like I was saying, and she goes outside Cersei's little, hidey hole, and they encounter one of these other kind, and its whole thing is it just like slurps the flesh off of you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you don't survive that real good. So they say, like, you can't do anything against this. It'll just use your magic against you. She's just like, that's right, but it can't use my magic against me if I don't use my magic on it. So she calls out to the earth to, like, trap this thing in the earth, and it slows it down and beats the crap out of it enough that she talks to Cersei and realizes that she has to go home, and she'll find the answer she needs there from, I don't know, Mordru, the leader of the Chaos guys, and she teleports away, and the leader of the other kind, the Upside Down Man, appears before Cersei and says, "Well, that's all clever and whatnot, but what are you gonna do about the arrangement we had?" So apparently she's been talking with the other kind this whole time, and at the last panel of this book, you have one of the Lords of Order. I think her name is Symmetry, and she gets up in front of all of the magic community and gives them an ultimatum. She's like, "I will let you go back to Earth, but I have to strip every ounce of magic from you. I will let you basically pass through this barrier. You will be allowed to live a full mortal life. Nothing will happen to you. This war will not affect you in any way, and you will be spared. But you have to give up magic." And there's beings completely made of magic, so I don't know if that would mean that they would die, or Boston, the dead man. He's a ghost that was given life from some ancient Egyptian god.
Okay.
And don't know what would happen to Boston if he went through that. He might just die. And because magic is such a big thing, they're not going to stop with all of these subsequent little realms. They then have to destroy heaven and hell, because that's where demonic magic and angelic magic come from.
I'm surprised this isn't an old, just huge arc in DC, because the way you're describing it sounds like it's going to affect every...
I think it is, because the Source Wall is breaking, and I think the normal Justice League is dealing with whatever actual issue is coming through that.
Oh, okay, because I was reading some of the Justice League, but I couldn't get into it. I started when they relaunched it, because there's only 20-something issues.
Yeah.
And there was this giant ball that was coming towards Earth, and I was just, after 5 issues, I'm just like, oh god, I'm done. Because Sinestro was multicolored man, and I'm not reading this anymore.
Because I know Superman, during, I don't know what arc it was, but he recently pushed Darkseid into the Source Wall. And, the Source Wall is at the edge of the universe. There's nothing beyond that except the original creators.
Maybe this isn't a related arc then.
Yeah. So, Superman, I think, because I haven't read that side of it, I think when he threw Thanos into this wall and said...
Thanos?
Or not Thanos. Darkseid. They're the same person, basically. Threw Darkseid into this Source Wall. I think he broke it or disturbed it somehow.
Okay.
But I would have to read on that, so don't take my word for it. So, yeah, that's how that ends, with the magical community being given the ultimatum. Either live or die by Symmetry's hands.
Alright, what's going on in Spider-Gwen?
So, Spider-Gwen... Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn are talking about trying to figure out why she's been feeling so shitty recently. And she thinks that it's her symbiote, because she can't Like, she can't speak to it. It doesn't have a voice that she can communicate with. He makes the remark that she eats like crazy and it's not going anywhere. And she kind of makes jokes that he was like calling her fat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently she's just slamming convenience store corn dogs and not gaining anything, and she's getting headaches and she's not feeling well. And she realizes that, well, if I go and talk to Elsa Brock, which is, you know, the Eddie Brock.
The Eddie Brock of that universe.
She's a scientist that created her symbiote for her. So she needs to go and find this person who I think works at Oscorp or something like that, because the receptionist knew who Harry was. They walk in and ask for her. They have no recollection of her. They have no idea who she is. She's not in the computer system, says she doesn't work there. So Harry and Gwen are trying to find this Elsa Brock person. And meanwhile, Mary Jane and the Mary Janes, her band, I think it's a punk group, because she plays drums in it.
Yeah.
They are coming back since Gwen has been out of prison, and Mary Jane's been kind of a bitch recently, just trying to make sure Gwen Stacy's actually going to be there and stop doing the hero stuff for like 5 minutes to come to a show and do her job. And during this performance, like their comeback performance, she gets all spider-sensy and realizes that something's wrong. And she stops playing. She leaps out on the front of stage and suits up into Spider-Gwen. And she pushes back Mary Jane, webs off the whole stage, and jumps up and realizes that there's a bomb. And she tries to cover it in webbing. Doesn't particularly work. And there's like 30 more bombs throughout the building. Wow. They all blow up and the ceiling collapses, and that's where the book ends.
Oh, okay.
So
Dang.
She's like on the other side of this, I forget his name. He's like a big blue werewolf-looking guy, and he's like a syndicate leader, like a crime syndicate leader. And they have all these petty criminals out there trying to lure Gwen Stacy out because they need to get something about her. And in the last fight, because she's having these headaches and stuff, she can't control her powers really well, and she beats the ever-living shit out of these like 5 dudes trying to rob a place. Like, beats them to the point where she should probably go back to jail. And she realizes as she's like swinging away, she's just like, I need to learn to control myself. I don't know what happened. Like, that wasn't me, and I did way too much damage to those guys. And one of the symbiote spiders got on one of the crooks, the cronies, the bad guys, and there's this one guy in the group called the Scavenger, and he's going to try and figure out what he can do with this this piece of the symbiote. So maybe there will be like some sort of a
carnage.
Yeah, some sort of a weird, gross, amalgam of bad stuff, and especially since like the leader's like a blue werewolf, all of a sudden you have werewolf venom. I don't want that, but I think that'd be really
part werewolf, symbiote, vampire, frost giant, dark elf,
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah, so they're both of the things that I've kept up on are ending very dire right now. One is going to either strip all of the magic from people and kill them, and one just had about 15 bombs go off in a venue. So, yeah.
So you're clearly in the middle part of the arcs.
Yes, very much so.
All right, let's switch gears and talk movies.
So,
do we want to get right into Endgame?
I was going to make the joke that I was watching Oliver and Company the other day.
I saw a video online of the song from that, like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yes.
I
didn't realize that was Billy Joel.
Oh, it is?
The main dog, yeah.
Oh, God, I didn't even know that either.
Yeah.
All right,
so
it's drawn. That counts.
If you haven't seen Endgame yet, again, I don't know what you're doing. The movie's made almost $2 billion. I don't know how
it's coming for Avatar.
On your left.
Yep. I've been seeing the memes.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Infinity War. This is like you can't beat me. I know, but he can. And Surtur blows up, and it's just Endgame. Just like when you can make a meme inside of your own universe about the meme, it's a pretty good meme.
Yep. Quality. All right, so spoiler alerts. If you don't care or you have seen it, stick with us. If not, you might want to pause here. And I don't know, probably just stop listening to this episode or fish through the end where we're talking about collecting stuff.
At Splash Panel Pod on Twitter, talk to us.
Yes, subscribe on iTunes or YouTube, Splash Panel Pod. All right, so Endgame. Lucas does not really care for it. I'm kind of down the middle. I liked it, but I wasn't overall crazy about the plot because it revolved around time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And like they tried to make time travel make sense when Bruce Banner's like, you can't affect your past because that's your past, and you can't change your, like he's explaining how it wouldn't make sense to, you know, change the past. You're not really changing your past.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating an alternate timeline, which okay, fine. I didn't really have a problem with that, but then the fact that old Captain America is in the current timeline, even though he went back in a different timeline to live with Peggy. Somehow he, like, makes it back to this timeline, even though he should be in this timeline and parallel to that. And there's a lot of, like, implied, like, oh, well, he did quantum travel again. He did quantum travel as a 110-year-old man. I'm supposed to believe that? To give him a shield? I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
Especially since the shield was destroyed in the last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe he got that from the past.
Yeah.
But there's also things
so, you know, now that there's another... timeline out there with Captain America that has no shield.
Well, there's definitely at least, I would say, there's 3 timelines for sure at this point, maybe even more, and I'll explain. But before we get into that, overall, why did you not care for the movie?
I just thought that the 10-second ending with the snap and all of that was, you know, it was nice. It wrapped everything up, but it wasn't interesting. It was just and Thanos and his army disappeared, and everybody came back.
How would you have preferred them to beat them?
I would have rather had them fight a war and kill him like a normal war.
Because, I mean, this isn't exactly uncharted territory for these movies. How does the first one end? Iron Man throws a nuke through the portal.
That is true.
They
kill a lot of people with that.
Age of Ultron, I guess, is the closest one where they fight a war because they destroy most of the Ultron bots.
Yeah, and they destroy most of that city.
Yes.
Well, they destroy the whole city, if I remember correctly.
Most of it went up. I think there was parts of the city that stayed down, but I don't know. That may have been destroyed in the explosion or debris.
And they said that they got everybody out, so, I mean...
But Civil War claims otherwise.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily have a problem with the ending. My problem was just with the plot, but I think they did a pretty good job with it for the most part. Things that bugged me. Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with the fact that that character existed, but after, like, when that building comes down on them and stuff, I wanted real Hulk out.
You needed Hulk.
He never got the redemption. Like, Bruce Banner did, but he never needed to redeem himself.
Yeah.
It was all about
Personally,
the Hulk.
I'm not a huge fan of the Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
Yeah, I don't know. They've mismanaged Hulk a lot, in my opinion, throughout the MCU.
I mean, I don't need, like, a gray Mr. Fix-It or whatever his name was, Hulk.
Oh, yeah, I don't need that. But, like, there's Leader that you can do stuff with. There's the whole Betty Ross story that
there's a lot of place that they can do.
There's
Hulk
Red
movie.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Like,
Abomination again, if you want to hit that up.
Yeah. There's MODOK, and there's things to be done.
What was the bad guy in World War Hulk?
He was the bad guy.
Oh, right.
he was the bad guy.
Right, that is true.
So I don't know. That bugged me. The lack of action until all the action happened bugged me.
Like there was funny moments peppered throughout, which I mean I still love. Star-Lord getting knocked out.
Yeah. Between him and a tree.
Oh, God, that made me so happy.
Or wait, are you talking about in the battle or when they're on the planet waiting for him?
On the planet waiting for him.
Oh, yes, and
Rhodey just goes up and bam!
So he's an idiot.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, there was definitely funny moments throughout. I mean, Paul Rudd's Ant-Man really did a good job in having the humor start after, like, such a dire thing. Like, they kill... Thanos, and then, you know, like, we can't do anything about it. 5 years happens, and, like, that power, like, it the monuments and the plaques of all the names and stuff. You're just like, damn, this is depressing for a Marvel movie. And then like he shows up and he's just like, hey, we met 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So what I did like, I actually liked Fat Thor.
Yeah, he was a pretty funny character. Like I said earlier to you, I think that it was a total joke on Ultimate Thor.
Maybe, but you know what's like? I mean, so the social justice warriors are upset because they're making fun of fat people, and
as a fat person, I enjoyed
it, and because of like the I don't know, maybe disregard to mental health. But Thor, it makes sense for him to get fat like that.
Yeah, he was also crazy in Ultimate Thor. So
he lost his father. Mm-hmm. He lost his mother.
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend dumped him. His brother died.
Heimdall, his best friend.
His best friend, allegedly, who I didn't know they were even friends, just I thought they had a working relationship. The Warriors 3 died.
Yep.
More than half of Asgard would have been dead at this point because there was half that died in Infinity War, and then whoever survived, half of those probably died with the snap.
Yep.
I'm
almost positive not everybody got off of Asgard when Surtur blew it up.
Well, most of Asgard's army was killed by Hela.
Yeah.
So like, there's just not a lot of.
There's maybe like
left.
an eighth of the Asgardians left.
Yeah. So like, there's a reason for him to just be like wallowing in self-pity.
Also, I'm more concerned of why did he join up with the Guardians of the Galaxy when he still has a people to lead.
Really? Let the Valkyrie do that.
Let the Valkyrie do that. Which, I gotta say, when she was riding up the side of that big Leviathan, just like running the dragon,
stabbing it, yeah.
Because it's like a dragon's fang is her sword.
That's what it was called.
She's just running it up. I'm just like, all right, I need to see a dragon.
Yeah, no, that was badass.
Because dragons are pretty cool.
The fights were badass. I really liked Spider-Man riding Thor's hammer because like maybe a week before the movie, I was thinking about like when that's happened in the comics. I'm like somehow I hope that happens.
Yep.
Where like
what does he say to him when he throws it?
He yells, "Hey, Queens!"
Yes, because they have the joke that they're both from New York
obviously
City.
Cap's worthy of the hammer.
Yep.
The part where he throws the shield and hammer, and that was pretty cool. The Thor lighting up Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Suave has been saying for years that they should have done that.
They should have done that
because like in Avengers when he charges him up and he shoots it back at him.
It's like energy reserves at 180%. Won't you look at that?
So that was cool. It was like they gave the fans what they wanted. I think for the most part they did give the fans what they wanted with this movie.
I like how they still kept Jarvis dead. Like, I would have totally thought by now that they would have had a backup of Jarvis somewhere.
You mean Vision? Or
No, the AI Jarvis.
Oh, well, no.
Like
he switches to Friday.
I know, but like Jarvis was such a mainstay for so long, I'm surprised that he wasn't fixed.
It would have been very...
Also, Vision never came back, right?
Yeah, because
he wasn't snapped
anyone
back.
who died pre-snap appears to still be dead.
Mm. Well, he's also made of a stone, and the stones were destroyed.
Yeah. I don't know how. There's going to be a show called WandaVision. I don't really know what that's going to be about. If it's going to take place before.
Maybe she's like having a cooking channel or something on YouTube.
Hopefully they change the name. That's all I know. Oh shoot, what was I saying? I don't know. They gave the fans what they wanted. For the most part, good. I liked Infinity War better and probably the first Avengers better.
The first Avengers still the best Avengers movie.
I might say Infinity War is better. I'm not sure.
But we can all agree that Iron Man 3 sucked.
We can agree on that.
Yep.
But my least... is that still my least favorite? I only ever saw Captain Marvel the one time. I didn't hate it like most people.
It wasn't an awful movie, but I think the best part of that movie was the lead scroll. He was the best character in it.
My problem with Captain Marvel is not the character. Larson's antics off camera and the tours and stuff, she just didn't act well.
No, she was there for a paycheck.
She was a little bit better in Endgame, but that's also because she was in like 3 scenes.
Yeah. And I did they explain why her hair's cut?
I know the actual reasoning because they filmed Endgame before they filmed Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Well, most of it, like
right.
those scenes. So, like her later scenes is filmed closer to Captain Marvel, so that's why.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's basically
short hair's better.
She's pretty cool in the fight when she destroyed the ship.
Yep.
Everyone had a cool part in the fight, except for maybe Star-Lord.
I would say...
and Groot. Groot really didn't do a whole lot in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Winter Soldier just kind of shot some dudes with a gun.
Him and Rocket were side by side again. Everyone,
but they both just have guns. They shoot stuff.
Everyone had that cool part. They even gave Mantis part of a cool part when all the girls attacked, and she really didn't do you could tell she's just looking around well, what am I gonna do?
Why am I in this fight?
Let me touch you. Sleep.
And then she just breaks the neck.
Yeah.
Break your own neck.
So let's talk about some of the things that I didn't like about the timelines. I want to go back to that. So they created 3 timelines.
So Pepper Potts shouldn't have gotten a suit.
That was pretty dumb.
I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow to begin with.
Yes.
She's kind of crazy.
So there's the 3 timelines. There's the main MCU.
That being said, that suit looked really cool.
Yeah.
the full blue and all that.
Yeah, I don't think that's from the comics at all.
No.
It's not that I think.
Like, when I first saw it, I was like, why did they bring Blue Beetle into this fight? He's not even from this, he's in DC.
Alright, so there's the main MCU. There's Loki Escapes.
Right.
From 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the 2014 timeline that
also,
they changed.
that would have been a Loki that hadn't, made up with his brother.
Yes, so he's evil, and I'm sure that's what's going to be that Loki Disney Plus stream thing. Is going to be about that, and if he ever comes back in the movies, somehow that one will cross over.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that these series are actually going to matter?
I think they'll matter more than the Netflix ones because
Inhumans and all that.
Yeah, because Disney is doing it.
Right, doing them on their own service.
It's not Netflix, and it's not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I guess you could still argue kind of counts, but who the hell cares?
I did like the thing in Captain Marvel when they said that Coulson would never have to deal with the Kree again, and that is exactly what kept him alive in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's true. Yeah, so that was one of the last things I kind of remember of that show. I didn't watch. I fell off after the Hydra stuff.
Yeah.
Then there's the 2014.
I think everybody did.
Apparently, it's still new. It's
they're still coming out with it.
I think it came back last Friday or maybe this Friday. And then there's the 2014 timeline where it's now without a Thanos and Nebula and presumably Gamora. Either she died or is in the current timeline
somewhere. Well, she couldn't have gone back.
Yeah. She couldn't have gone back, so unless she was snapped out of existence, she's in the current timeline.
Well, I guess she could have gone back, because they sent Cap back. She would have just had to go back later.
Yeah, I guess I didn't consider that. So they created at least 3 timelines.
Mm-hmm.
And, the whole premise earlier in the movie was if you put the stones back, it will correct the timelines. But they already screwed it up because they tampered, and Loki got away.
Yep.
So that created one, and they killed someone who should have been in that timeline. They killed thousands who should have been.
Who did they kill?
Thanos.
Oh, right, yeah.
So there's 3 timelines, and then I could even argue maybe that there's 9 timelines, because when Cap returns the stones, how the heck does him just showing up to Hulk and Ancient One's conversation be here?
I got this back.
Does that not?
I think Hulk would have left, and Cap would have immediately showed up.
I guess it depends on what
there would have been a Hulk Cap.
Depends on what you define as the immediate moment, maybe.
Right.
But as he's going, he's got all the stones in the suitcase. How the hell does he get the Space Stone back in a Tesseract? Where's the scepter? Where's the orb for the Power Stone?
True.
How is re-applying it into Jane Foster going to work?
Not well, I would assume.
And also, how does he return it to Vormir, the Soul Stone?
He would just bring it back to Red Skull.
I don't know if it's that simple.
Yeah.
They don't even it's a soul for a soul, but where is it? They just wake up in the pond and they hold it. So how does he return that? And I keep getting these stupid suggested posts on Facebook, and I keep clicking them, reading them.
Mm-hmm.
The writers and directors are saying this and that screenplay, and basically they're just it's not our problem anymore. That's the future movie's problems to decide.
True that.
So they almost did a good job with the time travel until, honestly, the last scene of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of just undoes the conversation Hulk and the Ancient One had.
Yeah.
For the future of MCU, Far From Home trailer came out. You see it?
Yes. Mysterio,
You love Mysterio.
my man.
I think he's...
Who are they fighting?
My honest opinion is this is an illusion.
Yeah. Who are they fighting?
Mysterio.
Mysterio's the bad guy?
Yes. This is, as I was leaving today, I was talking to my brother on my way here, and we were talking about it. I said, what if... Because you know how in the Far From Home trailer, they're like talking to Spider-Man, the two police, and they're like, "You're going to be the next Iron Man?"
Mm-hmm.
What if Mysterio wants to be the next Iron Man, but like the public's kind of talks about Spider-Man that way, so he's created this whole thing to prove Spider-Man a sham or like humiliate him and prove that he should be the next Iron Man.
I mean, it would be interesting.
Because there needs to be some motive.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be some motive, and you don't get that from the trailer. That's one of the... Assuming that, let's say everything in the trailer is real at its face value, there's not much left from the movie that you're like, what's going on? Like, you're not wondering, like the Infinity War and Endgame trailers. Like, a lot of it's out there. Like, he's on a class trip. He's falling in love with the fake MJ. She knows he's Spider-Man.
Yep.
Nick Fury wants Spider-Man to be, like, the head figure of this new Avengers and stuff. Like, a lot of that's out there. So unless this is all misdirection, a lot of that's already out there.
And I like the point when, or like there's been a couple memes right now. It's just like, so Spider-Man, now that you're in charge, villain comes up to you and you guys are about to fight. What do? I call the Avengers. You are the Avengers.
So the future of MCU, I guess some things will be answered here. I guess this is still Phase 3.
Yeah.
But what do you think for the future? What do you think is going to happen?
Like what movies are going to come out?
Movies, because they have 20th Century Fox rights back now. So.
I think we're going to get an X-Men and a Fantastic Four somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
I would love to see Future Foundation because I love those suits and all that. Plus, I think Spider-Man was part of Future Foundation, right? So
I know that some of the things on the plans already is another Spider-Man after this, another Black Panther, another Doctor Strange.
I think Captain Marvel as well, right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when her movie would take place because it could be in the past with like the Kree War still. Yeah,
dealing with all that.
Or it could take place.
They could do that for like 10 more movies for her.
Yeah.
Because there was a huge chunk of time there where she was not doing stuff.
Yeah.
She's got from the 90s to current.
And there's all kinds of like now multiverse things that they could go into and time travel.
And when they showed Peter in the stealth suit, I was like, ooh, they're going to bring in cool suits. Maybe that means at some point in time we're going to see Venom suit. Maybe,
because like I said, there's multiverse possibilities.
Yep.
They could try and make this Venom Sony movie make sense. But I know there's the twos for all those that I just said, and I think they're doing an Eternals movie.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And I would think Silver Surfer somewhere down the line.
I still wish that they would do the current thing with Galactus where he and Ego were like kind of working together. Ego the Living Planet. Dead. Yeah. Like that would that would have to be a thing. Like they have all of these like really cool characters that they could do stuff with, but they've already written them into a corner.
Yeah.
Like Star-Lord could have a way cooler story if they actually stuck with his real father.
They've written some characters in their corner, but like for example, Captain America, Steve Rogers could be back.
Yeah.
Not only do they have like alternate timeline, multiverse stuff, they could channel the quantum realm through old Cap.
Yep.
Like they did to Scott.
Yep.
I think at some point, I don't think it's going to be at the end of Phase 4. I think it's going to be the next chapter they build up, like how they did Infinity Stones. I think they're going to be building up towards Secret War. And
I still want to see the more recent story with the Infinity Gauntlet, where Cap breaks it, trying to push the other Earth back through its like tear.
Oh,
because that would make sense since Mysterio is saying all these tears are opening up and the multiverse is colliding in on itself.
They gotta be careful with doing that multiverse stuff though, because that's just gonna make people.
Plus, then we get to see Namor on screen, and everybody wants that.
Yeah,
I want that.
Like the multiverse is gonna make people very confused who don't read comics. Like one of the reasons Avengers and the MCU has been so successful is because
they've kept a very very light hand on the lore.
Yeah, like everybody sees these movies.
Yeah.
Not people who solely read comics. Like, if you start talking about why are there, like, 3 different Spider-Mans...
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced not only would it be hard to do, because it's so much story, but one of the reasons they've never done a Clone Wars, or a Clone Saga Spider-Man movie...
Right.
...is because people be like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Scarlet Spider? Why? What is...
Yep.
He's his clone. I'm confused.
Yep.
But he was actually cloned back then, and it would be very confusing.
I mean, people loved Logan, and that had 2 Wolverines, and wasn't one of them from another multiverse?
No, he was, like, created
a clone or something.
But, well, that's one of the things, too, about the X-Men movies under 20th Century Fox. Only, like, 2 of them actually kind of ran together. Yeah. No, not even were good. Ran together. Like, there's so many inconsistencies and different timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, Logan definitely doesn't take place in any of the timelines
no.
that the other X-Men movies do.
Nope.
Deadpool, I don't think does.
No. Well, especially since Deadpool makes fun of the fact that there was the other Wade that was like, he had the mouth sewn shut and all that.
Deadpool 2, he goes and tries to correct the timeline.
Yep. Doesn't he kill that version of himself?
Yeah, and then he kills Ryan Reynolds about to accept the Green Lantern.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm surprised that they were allowed to do that. That DC allowed them to do that. Because that's Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Well, if they never showed an image or anything, maybe they could get away with it.
True. And on that same thing of what I want for comic book movies, Warner Brothers needs to step their shit up and do like an actual good Justice League movie. And because Mortal Kombat's a huge thing right now, I would love to see a Mortal Kombat movie or a Mortal Kombat versus DC movie.
I'm gonna say that
they've done video games with it.
Yeah, well,
in Injustice, I think Sub-Zero and Raiden came in.
Well, they should honestly try and do something like that, because eventually, I guess it kind of remains to see what happens after this. The superhero movies fad is going to kind of run its course. It may have.
Have you watched or like done anything with MK11 yet?
No, I haven't bought it yet.
Okay, well, without spoiling anything, basically it leaves the story flashpointed, so they can start anything off where they want.
That's kind of what they did for Mortal Kombat 9.
Right, except this is like they now have the dawn of the universe at their command.
Oh.
So they can do whatever they want, and depending on who you played through with arcade, they have very different ways on how that works out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if they did a thing where, like, from that game they then jumped into a movie, because like in the game they reference the movie stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like it's all in the crypt, but they do reference it, and they actually made an Injustice joke in it as well, because Raiden's talking with Sub-Zero like before a match starts. Raiden's saying like, "Oh, I had this weird dream. I was in a place and there was like people dressed up as bats and like a guy with a big symbol on his chest." And Sub-Zero says like, "Oh, I know that dream as well." And it's like, how is that possible? Because they both were in Injustice too.
All right.
So that there is a game lore where those two universes are connected.
Well, I don't think Warner Brothers should try and do something like that, because I don't know, that's gonna bring in only a specific group of people. But I guess it's kind of transitions to some of the movies I wanted to talk about next.
I think if any person wanted to watch an action movie, they would go and see a Mortal Kombat movie.
Well, I think they should make Mortal Kombat movies. I think video game movies might be the next thing. Like, the superhero movies was a thing of the 10s decade.
Yeah.
Maybe video game movies could be that, and you're starting to see that with...
Because comic book movies kind of sucked before.
Not really. They just didn't have this, like, melding universe. Like,
yeah.
I love the original Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
The first...
and the original
X-Men
Blade.
and X2 were good.
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knights were good.
I didn't like the Dark Knights.
Weird.
I actually never saw the third one, and I have friends that were in that movie.
There were successful movies, but it wasn't to the degree of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe video games is that next thing that they could do.
They just need to. They need to stop making Assassin's Creeds and Angry Birds stuff like that.
Let's talk, because on the list, and we're probably like close to an hour, aren't we?
I can't read from there.
Detective Pikachu and Sonic.
Did you see the trailer?
The Sonic trailer?
No, the Detective Pikachu trailer.
I've seen a couple.
They
recent?
they released the whole movie on YouTube, and it shows the first like 2.5-3 minutes, and you start hearing music playing in the background, and then it's Pikachu just dancing for an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh,
like
no,
it starts off with like the Lionsgate thing, and the Pokeball pops up at the Pokemon Company, and it does this wide shot of like whatever city he's in, and he's walking around and walking past all these people, and he goes up to his apartment, and you start hearing the music, and the camera tilts, and it's just Pikachu dancing.
Oh, no, I had not seen that.
It says up in the corner, R. Reynolds.
All right. I'll have to maybe check that out, or I don't know. I'm probably gonna see it Friday.
Yeah.
But like,
is that one of releases?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like, Detective Pikachu is going to. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but at least it looks good.
It looks better than Sonic.
Especially the CGI. Like they look like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Now Sonic, I know there's been talks that they're gonna redesign him.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
They are redesigning.
But I'm like, what if it comes out worse? Like, would you really trust the people
I don't
who
think
screwed it
that
up?
I don't think that they can make it much worse. Like there were people that were saying like, just make him like he is in the games. Big eyes, like pizza shoes.
Honestly, you remember his like little cameo in Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah.
Would it be that weird?
Just
to
use
just
that.
Use that.
Use that model.
And if you really wanted to make it real life, put some fur on it. Make it look, yeah.
Like, if you really want to do something, just take the one from Sonic Heroes, copy and paste it in. Nobody will know the difference.
With Sonic, I guess I want to talk about it. I think it's going to tank, regardless of the fact. Even if they improve the CGI, I don't think it's going to be a very successful movie. So that
do you
being
know
said,
who's making it?
No idea. That being said, though, why are we not seeing Knuckles and Tails?
I mean, Jim Carrey's the one that got all of that budget. Do you think that they can get 2 more voice actors?
You're probably gonna have one chance at this movie, like the Power Rangers movie that came out a couple years ago.
Was bad.
I actually liked it, but there's never going to be a sequel because it didn't do well.
It was an hour of nothing, and then they were in the suits for like, I don't know, 10 minutes?
It was okay.
It was alright.
I mean, it wasn't cheesy like the Power Rangers.
I wouldn't sit down right now and watch it again.
But you would watch it again.
I would watch it again at some point in time. Like, if it was on and, like, we were, having a party or something, I'd be like, yeah, turn on Power Rangers.
All right. But, like, they had one shot. And they kind of dropped the ball on some things. I think Sonic's going to have one shot.
And that's not to say other Power Rangers movies were bad, because I liked some of the old ones.
So corny.
Oh yeah, like, what was the one with Ivan Ooze?
Yeah, that's the rewatch it as an adult, and you're just like, this is the worst thing ever. Yes, Suave
I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
Suave and I did it not too long, like a couple years ago, and it was bad. Anyways, put Knuckles and Tails in. Like, you don't have to go all out, like, because you want it to make some sense. And if you do happen to have a sequel, then you save Shadow and some of those guys. Yep. But Tails is only a game younger than Sonic. Like, he should be there for sure.
Yeah.
And Knuckles.
Do you know the way?
It's just...
Have you seen the new memes?
Oh, no, not yet.
Everybody's been taking the like Sonic that they showed.
Yeah.
And they've been making all the other characters. And like they've already like they pierced his ear and like kind of like contoured his face so it looks more feminine. So there's and they changed the color to, oh god, I can't remember her name, the orange one that works with Knuckles, like the other echidna.
Yeah. What is her name? Takal or something?
Something like that. Yeah, because she also guards like the Master
She
Emerald.
exists in the past or something.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. Like everybody's just like, just make them all. Just make them all. We can make them better than you can, apparently.
All right. We'll talk about Godzilla next week. Collector's Corner now. If you are interested, stick around for this.
That Flash?
Yeah, Flash 70. Older stuff, though. So Endgame has drove up prices.
I would expect
on a couple of things. An issue of...
You wheeling and dealing?
No, I'm just trying to hoard. There's this issue of Secret War. I can't remember which one. It was like 4 or 5. Where Hulk lifts a mountain.
Oh.
stops it from crushing everyone.
Hmm.
And since that,
Why are they all under a mountain?
who the hell threw it at him? I don't remember.
Somebody threw a mountain at him?
Could have been Galactus. Maybe it was Doom.
Oh, that checks out.
But Hulk's holding it, and that's like the cover, is him holding the mountain. Since he held up some of the complex, that has made that go up.
Oh, God.
So you might want to try and get that before it gets any more out of hand. Pure speculation of Beta Ray Bill. Are you familiar with him?
Oh, yeah. He's the one that originally had Stormbreaker.
Yeah. Pure speculation from Thor joining the Guardians at the end of Endgame. Like, everyone thinks Thor is going to be in the next Guardians. I'm not so sure.
I think he will be there when they drop him off at Asgard, or what is left of it, with the Asgardians.
Maybe. I'd like to see him around, because I think it'd be a good dynamic.
Also, there's no Bifrost.
Yeah. Well, Stormbreaker can summon it.
Yeah, but there's no Bifrost for everybody else.
True.
Maybe there's a Dark Bifrost.
Maybe.
Because there's still a couple Dark Elves that are alive.
Probably, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But just speculation of Thor joining the Guardians, and like from that, they're speculating Beta Ray Bill's going to be there.
I mean, they had his face up on the...
that's what a lot of the things are.
He was a champion or whatever.
Yeah, so his...
Who was that dude?
What?
The
Grandmaster?
Yeah. Is he an actual character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So speculation of him has drove his first appearance, Thor 337, up. It's already eclipsed over $100 for like a near mint. Something in the near mint category, even the lower end, like 9.2. So you maybe want to get that before he's actually confirmed, because then I bet you it goes up even more.
All right.
Amazing Spider-Man 650, first appearance of stealth suit. Those are coming in hot. I picked up an ungraded copy for about $30. Maybe paid a little bit more than I should have, but I think it's something worth having.
Stealth suit's so cool.
Because, yeah, and like once these prices are set, like there's websites now that track CGC graded comics and what they sell for.
Right.
So like once the precedent's set, I could hold on to this book for 20 years.
Right.
And like
it's not going to go down.
Yeah, like, oh, look, this sold for $150 at a 9.6 grade at one point in 2019. Yeah. So, guess what?
Yep.
I'm going to want, it's now 2028, I'm going to want this much.
Yep.
I also picked up an ungraded copy of the first appearance of, oh God, what is her name? Oh, son of a pup. Sorry. It's the little girl from Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Monica was her name?
Something like that.
She becomes Captain Marvel in an Amazing Spider-Man annual, issue 16.
Oh.
Oh, please tell me what her name is. Monica something. I don't know.
All right.
Anyways, with this whole multiverse and the fact that obviously these actors do age out and they've introduced this girl into the lore, maybe she will be Captain Marvel at some point. I picked up an ungraded copy. My guess it probably falls somewhere in like the 8 to low 9 range. And like according to this website, it's anywhere between 70 to like 100.
It's not
and
bad.
I paid 22.
Yeah, that's worth.
So, you know, maybe you want to hop on those. And other thing, Spawn is approaching issue 300.
Oh.
Issue 298 and 299 are going to be basically recreations of Tom McFarlane's famous 298 and 299 Amazing Spider-Man covers. I think those are probably worth trying to get.
Yeah.
And the AOC comic book.
Oh.
Yes, are you familiar with this story? So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, right.
And the Freshman Force is going to be a one-shot comic. I personally do not care much for her, but I am going to try and pick up a copy of this because I think it might be worth having.
Yep.
Especially if, like, she sticks around.
Or if she, God help us, becomes president.
That's what I mean by sticks around. She's a little too young to do that now, but, like, if she makes the ranks as senator or president, I don't know. I hear that they're trying to like her own party's trying to get rid of her. So, I don't know. But it might be worth picking up. There's several different variants. There's There's one. You familiar with the Captain America cover where he's punching Hitler?
Yes. Please say she's punching Trump.
She's punching Trump.
Oh God, who's putting this book out?
Devil's Due.
Oh, okay.
Now, what's weird is I was looking up some stuff about this today online. They're kind of dictating the prices of the variants, which I've never seen a company do. Normally, they let the market kind of decide. Like you can go buy a 1 in 100 variant for the same price as a normal book. But they're kind of dictating it. I guess that just shows you how socialist this book is. They're not letting the free market decide what variants are going to be worth.
It'll always be worth $3.
But if I can, that's the variant I want to get.
Is it a $3 book?
No, it looks like it's going to be like $6, and more depending on the variant if you're lucky enough. I don't know what shops.
Did they say how many pages it's going to be?
I don't recall. I don't think I saw anything like that. Apparently, she fights Pelosi and Trump, though, so I'll probably buy it, never read it, get it CGC graded. I've started doing that. It's not a very expensive process, but it's a timely one.
Yeah.
I sent out my first appearance of Carnage, Amazing Spider-Man issue 800, and First Silver Sable to get graded, and I probably won't see them for another 6 months.
Oh. Well... You know,
but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was. I had to get a couple books pressed. Out of the 3 books, I'm getting 2 of them pressed. It was like $68 to get 3 of those graded.
That's not bad.
And I think all of them are going to hold like a near mint value.
Yeah.
All right. So we are a Splash Panel podcast. Follow us at Splash Panel Pod. Interact with us at Splash Panel.
The other way. That way.
What is our email? SplashPanel716?
Yeah, at Gmail.
At gmail.com.
Well done.
Can find us on YouTube. It's been a while.
Yeah.
With that same name, SplashPanel716. Follow us there. Email us. Subscribe on iTunes, Splash Panel Pod. If you like to not see us and prefer to listen to us, that's the way to go, because we are very hideous.
Oh, how dare you.
You know, I'm just noticing that thing in the background. I think it's just a pillow, but it looks like a face. Like, it looks like a meat wad.
Oh, it does. It totally does. All right. Well, audio listeners, if you want to see that, it's on YouTube, and it is a face.
You know, now I want to watch back the video and, like...
See if it's moved?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need that. I sleep right over there.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.